So if you're a business owner, then you're probably like me, and you want to make sure that when someone goes to your website, they actually make a purchase. They actually become a client of yours, right? In other words, you want to optimize the conversion rate. You want to make sure that it's as likely as possible that when someone goes to your website, they're going to like either opt in first or maybe right away make a purchase. But you want to make sure that, you know, the highest number of people is actually going to do that, right? And here's the thing. Going into the future, going into the rest of 2020 and 2021, that is not going to be enough. It's not going to be the most primary concern. And in this video, I'll tell you why. So my name is Wilco the Kreij, and over the last couple of years, that's like I put a lot of focus on there. I've been putting a lot of focus on making sure people, like the conversion rate is good. Like if we do that with complex things like split testing, and we do a lot of analysis of like, how can we increase the likelihood of when someone goes through our website, they will actually raise their hand and say like, yes, I want to do business with you, right? And that is important. Don't get me wrong. It's important to make sure that that happens, because if your site or funnel doesn't convert, then it's really hard to grow your business, right? Because let's say you get 1,000 people onto your website and only one person is going to buy. What is that going to mean? It means that, let's say you spend $1 per click on Facebook ads. Maybe you're running Facebook ads, right? You spend like $1,000, and if only one person is going to buy, assuming that your product is like $500, maybe, just again as an example, that's not going to work, right? Like you spend $1,000 to get $500 back, or maybe $1,000 to get $100 back. I've been there, right? I've totally been there. And where a lot of people then start focusing on optimizing their Facebook ads or their cost or whatever, like you can do a lot like optimizing how many people actually convert on your website. Because let's say from those 1,000 people, you can get 10 people to buy, right? Just again as an example. And let's say that's a $200 product. Then all of a sudden those 10 people, that's $2,000. So if you spend $1,000, you get $2,000 back out. Awesome, you're in profit. And that's what I've been spending a lot of time on focusing. But, that is not going to be enough into the future for a lot of businesses, and here's why, right? Because right now we all, and when I say we, I mean society, we are more and more moving into a subscription-based economy, right? If you want to have a car, I'll just spend a couple $100s per month and I have a car. If you want to get music, I'll just get Spotify. If I want to watch TV, I'll get a subscription on Netflix. Mobile phone, get a subscription for that. Like everything that we do these days, you can get a subscription for, right? And that is how people are going to slice it up. Now, what's the most important part? If you as a business, if you're going to sell a subscription, like if you have a service or a product where people have to pay a monthly fee to use your subscription, to use your service, right? What's the most important metric there? That is churn. Let me explain that. So let's say you have a subscription style business, right? And 100 people subscribe to your product, and they pay you, I don't know, $100 a month, for example, for some kind of a service or something that you deliver, right? Now, those 100 people, are they always going to be a customer? Like they subscribe and they're always going to be a customer? No, like that's not how it works. They're going to cancel at some point, right? And the percentage of people that cancels, that's what's called churn. Let's say you have a 10% churn, right? So every month, on average, 10% of people said like, it's not for me anymore. I don't need it for whatever reason. I'm going to cancel, right? So let's say you get 100 people initially, right? And you don't get any new customers. Then after a month, you only got 90, right? And then a month later, again, 10% off is 81. And like it just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. You want to make sure that you provide so much value. You want to make sure your product or service is exactly what they need, and they continue to want to give you money every single month. Right? Like a couple years ago, I spoke to a guy, and he just started his first subscription style business, and I think it was a cheap product, and he purposely made it cheap. And he said like, hey, if people subscribe to my service, it's that cheap, they will forget to cancel, they will forget the product, and they won't actually, it's too cheap to cancel, so they'll stay forever. I'm like, that is the worst idea ever, right? That's the worst idea ever, because you want to make sure, like even though it's a subscription style business, like people check their bank accounts. You want to make sure that your product or service is valuable enough that people would want to pay every single month, even though if they would have to go into their account and manually pay again. You want to make sure it's that valuable that people every month they pay you again. They want to do that. Obviously, because it's a subscription, it's easier, right? You don't have to do it, but you want to make sure, in a way, every month you're selling it to them again. So you want to make sure that you over-deliver in terms of value, you over-deliver in terms of what the results they're getting from it. And that's at UpViral and Connectio, that's our core focus, but how to make sure to provide more value than anyone else in the market, right? That's what we try to do. And by focusing on that, by lowering that churn, by making sure less people actually want to cancel, you immediately grow your business, right? Because customers stay longer. And again, if you cut your churn in half, if you go from 10 to 5%, you'll literally double the total revenue of your business. It's crazy. And most people don't think of it like that, because it's not as sexy as, getting new sales in, right? It's like, hey, I improve my conversion rate on my website. Boom, I get more sales, my ads are more profitable. Woohoo! You immediately, it's immediate gratification. You immediately get the results. But lowering churn, you don't immediately see it, right? It's like the long-term effect, but it's like crazy how well that works. So that's why, what I mean with going into the future, as more and more businesses start to do recurring-based, subscription-based businesses, they sell something at a subscription-based style, like on a retainer or whatever that is. As soon as you start doing that, the most important metric in your business is going to be churn, because it's way cheaper to keep someone as a customer than to always having to acquire new customers coming into your business, because the market is getting more crowded, more advertisers on Facebook and all these different places. So it's just the most amazing thing ever. So if at some point you are starting a subscription-based business, make sure to think about that. Hey, that Wilco guy, that guy from the Netherlands, the one with the funny accent, he mentioned something about churn. Yes, at that point, think about that, Google it, do some research, and that is where the money is hidden. It's not as sexy, but it's way more profitable. So that's it for today. I just want to share that thought with all of you. For those who are planning on a subscription style business, by the way, which you should, it's a great way to run a business because it aligns your business with your customer success, and that's what matters, right? Making sure your customers get results. So what we do at UpViral and Connectio as well. So obviously, as always, just a humble brag, or humble plug, I have to say, if you want to check it out, if you want to get more leads, go to UpViral, that is UpViral.com. And if you want to have more ROI, higher ROI from your Facebook ads by making sure your targeting is a lot better, then check out connectio.io as well. And with that having said, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.